When you get your paycheck from work, can you tell me where all the money goes? In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to tell your money what to do instead of wondering where it went. Do you know where your money goes every month? I'll bet you don't, but I'm going to show you how to get complete control over your money. Whether you're saving for a car, you're buying a prom dress or a video game, this lesson will explain how to do it.
Please welcome nationally syndicated radio host and New York Times best-selling author, Dave Ramsey.
We're going to talk about the dreaded B word, the budget. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to have a good time with it, though. See, the fun thing about money is if you will happen to your money, then you have some. If you just let all your money happen to you, you'll never win. See, all a budget is what Zig Ziglar says. Zig Ziglar says, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And most people with their money, you know what they're aiming at? Nothing. They didn't aim at anything. They just went, right? That doesn't work.
A budget is something where you take the money that you make and you make like a list, whether it's like written down or in your head or whatever, of how much you can afford to spend on your like necessities and your wants, and such as food, gas, clothes, etc.
Specific set on what you spend your money on and how much goes to what.
A budget is something that limits on how much you can spend or do on anything.
A budget is where you keep money in for savings or for anything else you want to spend money on. Just a place to hold money.
John Maxwell, his definition of a budget is excellent. I wish I had said it, but sadly he said it. He said that a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went. So here's the deal. You've got to tell your money what to do. You've got to make it behave. Otherwise, you'll wake up in April, you'll wake up 20 years from now, you'll wake up 6 decades from now, and you go, wow, I could have had a VA. I've been through all this money, and I wonder where it went. Because you see, money has this principle to it. Money is active. It is moving all the time. It has a current to it. That's why they call it currency. It's going everywhere. Right? And so if you don't get on top of that money, if you don't make it behave, you will always wonder where it went. You will either tell your money what to do, or the lack of it will always manage you. Stephen Covey says in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that highly effective people are proactive. They happen to things. Everything doesn't happen to them. And you know, Rick Warren would say that we're intentional. You have to be intentional about what you're doing with money in order to be able to win with it. You must do the written cash flow plan every single month. See, think about it. The average person in America today makes about $40,000 a year, according to the Census Bureau. 10 years of $40,000 a year is $400,000. If you're going to have $400,000 run through your fingers, you need a plan. If you were going to build a $400,000 home, you wouldn't dream of doing that by just saying, you know, I think we'll just put it over there. Instead, you would have a plan. And we'd call that plan what? We'd call it a blueprint, right? And you know, blueprints don't have one page. It's not a little juvenile picture of the thing. It's got page after page after page after page. It's got the elevation on here. It's got the bushes on here. It's got where every plug goes. It's got where every drain is in the house, every piece of plumbing, what type of trim wear is going to be in there, what type of carpet or hardwood is going to be in each room. Every little detail is laid out in this big, thick book called your house before you ever put a bulldozer on the lot. Before you ever start, everything is planned when you're doing a $400,000 project. And yet we let $400,000 run through our hands in a given 5 or 10 year period of time, and we go, whoa, where'd it go? I have no idea where it went. I feel so inept. Why are you so inept? This isn't rocket science. You've just got to do it. You got to have a blueprint. You've got to have a game plan. You would never build a $400,000 house by doing that. You see, what we're talking about is if you ran a company called You Incorporated and you manage money for You Incorporated the way you manage money for you now, would you fire you? Don't answer that. That's a little scary, isn't it? You know, well, Dave, I don't know, man. This is intimidating. Yes, it's intimidating. So is being broke. So is being out of control and not knowing where I'm going. That's intimidating too. So when you happen to this stuff, you're not going to do it perfectly. You know, your budget is not going to work. Say it's not going to work. The first time you sit down with your spouse and that nerd and that free spirit get together and we have a budget committee meeting and we lay it all out, you know, the first month you're going to have 17 emergency budget committee meetings to do corrections. The next month you're going to have 12 emergency budget committee meetings to do corrections. The next month you're going to have about 3 or 4. It takes 3 months of doing this to get it right. If you do it right over and over and over again, finally after doing it for about 90 days, you start to get what's known as a clue. Say 90 days. 90 days. It's going to take you 90 days. Your first month's going to be a disaster. And your first budget committee meeting is probably going to be a big fight unless you're very, very careful with your relationship. Because it's going to bring out a bunch of stuff that you've not dealt with in a long, long time. And you're going to have to look that demon straight in the face. And I'm not talking about your spouse. And you're going to have to deal with what's going on there in a very, very real way. Because, you know, this is a process where it's a little bit of trial and error. You're going to get in there and figure out what your deal is and how you guys want to do it because your value system is going to be reflected here. You are going to put your personal stamp on this. But it's like Mama used to say, right? Practice makes perfect. And that's the deal with the budget. First month's going to be a little rough. Second month will be a little better. Third month it'll actually start to work a little bit. But by the time you've been doing it 15 or 20 or 30 years like Sharon and I have, where after we went broke, we have never lived without a written plan again because we discovered that was the only way we weren't going to kill each other. We had to have a plan because we were fighting. I mean, you can have some money fights. We didn't get a divorce, you know. We held on to each other, but sometimes it was just to get a better grip. You know, she's from the hills of East Tennessee. Frying pan throwing there is an Olympic event. You know, so we had to use this plan to be able to talk things out, to be on a game plan. And then when we would lock it in, we go, okay, that's what we're doing with money. And then it was okay for her to go spend that and not feel guilty. It was okay for me to go over here. I wasn't going to get yelled at for doing this. And all of a sudden we had a game plan where this worked. But it was trial and error. You're not immediate, okay, I've been to a class and now I'm an expert. It doesn't work that way, does it? It's kind of like the first time we went snow skiing. Any of you snow ski? Yeah, a few of you. You know, first time we went snow skiing, I'd never been snow skiing. We went a long, long time ago. First time we made some money, before we went broke, right? And I called up the travel agent and I said, hey, I've never been snow skiing. I want to go snow skiing. And I hear cool people go snow skiing. So what do the cool people do when they go snow skiing? Where do they go? And she said, well, they might go to Aspen or Vail. And I said, well, let's just go to Aspen. That sounds cool. So book me, what do cool people do when they go to Aspen? She said, well, you book a condo right on the slopes. You don't have to walk anywhere. You just ski in, ski out of the condo. That's what okay, book me a cool people condo then. So I'm cool people. I have no idea what I'm doing. No clue. We get over there, we're checking in our skis at the place, and the guy says, so where are you staying? And we told him, and he said, well, you just told me you're a beginner. And we said, yeah, and he started laughing. He said, you're not skiing in and out of that condo. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you're at the bottom of a double black diamond mountain. He said, you might roll in there, but you're not skiing in there. And so we're sitting there at the bottom of this perfect ski mountain and have no idea how to use it. And so we have to go get on the bus, which I don't think the cool people do. Go down the road a few miles to Buttermilk Mountain. True story. I don't think it just didn't sound as cool as Aspen, you know. Buttermilk Mountain. It was a real mountain, though, I can tell you this. I mean, we were on the bunny slope, and that's a big bunny. And you trial and error, right? And you know about the bunny slope. You know how that works. When you're learning to ski, bunny slope has nothing to do with learning to ski. It's learning to ride the chairlift. You know, you get to fall and blah, 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 blah. So we get out there, we successfully get in the thing. You know, you move over there and the chairlift hits you. Boom. You know, we're riding up through there. We're going, okay, we both got on here. We have all of our equipment, which is not like those other people because you see equipment dotted all the way down. You know what I'm talking about. And we're coming up on the top. I'm going, okay, we're good. I'm kind of relaxing a little bit. And then I look up at the top and there's a problem developing at the top of the hill because as the people were getting off the lift, they were just kind of piling up. And I said, okay, honey, we got to have a plan. You go around to the right. Since you're on the right, I'll cut in to the left. We're going to miss the pile. We're not going to get in this. And tips up because you don't want to hit and just go boom, you know, right? And so tips up, okay. I go around left. I cut hard left, and I stop. She goes around right. She hadn't stopped yet. She forgot about the stopping part. She just pointed them. And I can't help her. I'm just telling the instructor, my wife left. He said, well, she'll stop before she hits the restaurant. Most of them do, because she's like heading right at it. You know, it looks like a movie, you know. Well, that's how we started. And we've been skiing for years now. We take our kids as big family vacations. Now we can ski the double black diamonds and all that stuff. But that was a couple decades ago. But we didn't start out on double black diamond, did we? Same thing with your budget. You didn't start out there. You're going to have a little trial and error. And just give yourself a little grace to fall down a couple times and learn the process.